Hello everyone, welcome to the video. I am Professor Capko and I'm your host for yet another exploration of some of the mathematical concepts that you might be having some trouble with, and I'm going to make them easy for you. Today we're going to talk about the distributive property of multiplication. That is a fancy sounding way of saying that we're going to multiply one of our numbers or terms as it is by all the others. And if there's some parentheses involved, I'm going to demonstrate how that works. So in this case, we've just got some placeholders here, a times b plus c. I like to think of distributing like you're throwing it over the wall. So you're going to take the a, you're going to toss it over the wall, which is this parentheses. A times b is AB, and then A times C is AC. There's a plus in between, so we're adding them, so your end result is AB plus AC. I think it would be easier to see if we use some actual numbers. So let's go on to a problem like you might see on a quiz, a test, the TEAS test, the GKT test, or something along those lines, and let's show how we would work it. If you're finding this helpful, please go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe so you can get some more videos like this. And if you click the notification bell, you'll actually hear or find out when I post a new video, because YouTube does not always let you know. All right, so in this case, we've got 5 times parentheses 2x plus 3. Now, the parentheses, and there's nothing between these two, if it's basically right next to it, that means multiplication. They don't need to put the multiplication sign, which could be a dot. They're probably not going to put the x because that might be confused with the x of a variable. But in this case, it's right next to it. There's no addition or subtraction in between. There's no line, so we're going to read this as multiplication. So it's going to be 5 times parentheses 2x plus 3, close parentheses. Now, we're going to go ahead and toss it over the wall as I described. So it's going to be 5 times, and in this case, we're multiplying by 2x. There's no x attached to the 5, so we're just going to multiply the 5 times the 2, which is 10, and so it becomes 10x. So 5 times 2x is 10x. Then we're going to toss this over the wall to this number here, to the 3. And I'm going to read this plus with it. It's a positive 3. So 5 times positive 3, it's going to become positive 15. So this one is 10x plus 15. And that's how we distribute the 5 into there. Let's go ahead and do another one of these. In this one, we've got 2 parentheses 3y minus 6. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to toss it over the wall. So 2 times 3 is 6y. And if you're not sure how to do some of those, I've got some other videos where I show how to multiply terms such as this. And then we're going to go 2 times negative 6. I'm going to read this like a negative 6. So we've got a positive times a negative. When you're multiplying and you've got opposite signs, you wind up with a negative answer. So 2 times 6 is 12. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. So we wind up with 6y minus 12. Let's kick it up a notch and do another one. Let's bring in a variable. So if we've got a variable times a variable, in this case the x is the variable, and we got another variable here, the same, which is x. And again, if you're not sure how to multiply variables, I've got a video showing you how to do that, and I should put a link to it up above here. So in this case, we're going to do the same thing. We got x times parentheses 3x plus 1, close parentheses. I'm going to toss it over the wall. So x times 3x, well, the 3 comes down. X times x is x squared. X squared. And then we got the x times the positive 1 would be x. Right? X times positive 1 is x. There's an invisible 1 here. We usually don't write it. So our final result is 3x squared plus x. Let's kick it up another notch, and let's look at if our term in front is negative. So now we're dealing with multiple negatives here. So we got negative 5 times parentheses negative 5x minus 11, close parentheses. So in this case, we're going to toss it over the wall. And I've got a negative times a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. So I deal with that up front. I know I'm going to wind up with a positive. 5 times 5 is 25x. So I've got a 25x is how that winds up. I'm going to toss the negative 5 over the wall, and I'm going to treat this as a negative 11. We know that a negative times a negative is a positive, and 5 times 11 is 55. Now, I wouldn't ordinarily write the plus in front of there because it's implied, so I'm going to rewrite this whole thing as 25x plus 55. That's what the end result is for that. And let's kick it up one more notch and see a couple more of these. What if we have a coefficient in front of the variable? The coefficient is the number that is multiplied by the variable. In this case, the coefficient is 2. So we've got 2x times parentheses 3x plus 2, close parentheses. So we're going to toss it over the wall, and I'm going to multiply my coefficients first. 2 times 3 is 6, and then I've got x times x is x squared. Toss it over the wall over here. I've got 2x times a positive 2. I know I've got a positive times a positive, so I know it's going to be a positive. And 2x times 2 is 4x. So our final result for this one is 6x squared plus 4x. And let's do one more, because we've been multiplying by what's called a binomial. Bi meaning 2. I've got a term here and a plus or minus in between. And a second term, that's a binomial. Let's multiply by a trinomial. Tri meaning 3. I've got a term here with a plus or minus, a second term here with a plus or minus, and a third term. This is a trinomial, and that will become later important in some later lessons. We're going to treat it exactly the same way, so don't get intimidated by that. It's the same thing. We're just going to do it a third time. So I tossed it over the wall. So 3 times 2 is 6x squared. I'm going to toss it over the wall over here, and I've got a positive times a positive, so I know this is going to be a positive. 3 times x is 3x. Toss it way all the way out here. I've got a positive 3 times a negative 10, a positive times a negative. Anytime the signs are opposite when you're multiplying, you wind up with a negative answer. So 3 times 10 is 30. So in this case, our final answer is also a trinomial, 6x squared plus 3x minus 30. And that, my friends, is how you multiply using the distributive property. Hopefully you found that easy. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. Let me know if there's something I missed or if there's a particular problem that you want me to prepare a video for. I'm also available for private virtual tutoring, so you can reach out to me through my channel and let me know. Also, there's some things you can do to support this channel down in the bottom in the description. So we'd appreciate it if you would give us some support so we can do more videos like this. Give us a thumbs up and keep your grade alive and subscribe. Until next time, this is Professor Capko.